Welcome, and thanks for visiting American Atheists' website. I'm Ellen Johnson, president of American Atheists. I had a wonderful 4th of July, and I hope you did too. It's one of the best holidays of the year. I love the picnics, playing horseshoes or volleyball, hitting the beaches, and enjoying the company of friends and relatives. I've always loved American Revolutionary War history, so I particularly appreciate what the 4th of July represents. I like that we dedicate a day to thinking about our country and our revolution of 1776. We're not a perfect nation. We've made plenty of mistakes along the way, and it's taken literally centuries to extend the benefits of our revolution to women and minorities. We hear a lot about why our revolution was fought, especially the claim that people flocked to our shores to practice freedom of religion. But that's only part of the story. Many people came here for economic opportunities, but they also came to our shores and fought the revolution to achieve freedom from religion. Government leaders and politicians don't talk very much about that particular freedom, do they? Before our Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War, most of the 13 original colonies had some form of what amounted to a state religion. The law severely punished people who held what were thought of as heretical beliefs about religion, and often used the power of taxation to subsidize a particular religious denomination. For instance, in Virginia, the punishment for speaking impiously about certain tenets of the Christian faith, like the Trinity, was the death sentence. You could also be murdered by the government for working on the Sabbath or even cursing. In Rhode Island, only some kinds of Protestants could hold public office. We hear how tolerant the Quakers were, but over in Pennsylvania, there was compulsory church attendance. And in Maryland, the badly misnamed Toleration Acts punished anyone who was found guilty of blasphemy or who denied that Jesus Christ was the Son of a God. Where was the toleration in all of that? There was plenty of freedom of religion or freedom of a particular religion, but virtually no freedom from religion. That's why, right after the Revolution, our free-thinking ancestors began what was a process of disestablishment of religion. The newly formed states began kicking their respective established religions off the tax rolls. Churches, religious groups, and preachers would no longer be supported by tax money. In theory, no religion would be preferred by government, and again, in theory, religious belief would be a matter of personal conscience and not a test for owning property or voting or even living in a particular place. Here's what Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1786 in what is known as the Act for Establishing Religious Freedom. Quote, "No man shall be compelled to frequent or support any religious worship, place, or ministry whatsoever, nor shall be enforced, restrained, molested, or burdened in his body or goods, nor shall otherwise suffer on account of his religious opinions of belief, but that all men shall be free to profess their opinion in matters of religion." End quote. By the way, can you imagine a government leader or politician saying something like that today? Unless usually they're busy invoking a deity or waving their religious credentials around in exchange for votes and political support. But our forefathers knew better. They knew from history that religious fanaticism and government-sanctioned religious establishments were dangerous practices and often led to bloody conflicts like the 30 Years' War. They wanted none of that for the new social experiment that was the United States of America. They may have paid lip service to a vague general entity they called the Creator, but this wasn't the God of the Protestants or the Catholics or any other religion. They wanted to privatize religion and, in Jefferson's words, build a wall of separation between government and churches. By the way, as the process of the disestablishment spread throughout the young American Republic, most church leaders howled with indignation. Some even demanded that the Constitution actually be rewritten. The head of the Presbyterian Church in Massachusetts and New Hampshire protested to George Washington, grumbling that there was no explicit acknowledgement of the only true God and Jesus Christ. Another preacher, the Reverend John Mason of Philadelphia, told his congregation that a recent plague was sent by God because Jehovah was not recognized in the Constitution as the supreme law of the land. You must have had the same speechwriter as Pat Robertson. So every 4th of July, we should pause and remember what this holiday is all about. Our country may have won its political independence from Great Britain, but thanks to our forefathers, men like Thomas Jefferson, we achieved newfound freedoms. These were written into a remarkable document known as the Bill of Rights, and the first of these gives us freedom of speech, freedom to practice religion if we choose, and the freedom from government-sanctioned religions in our lives. You can learn more by exploring our website. Click on the link buttons on the left for all sorts of information about atheism and American atheists. Visit our shopping section for our many books, pamphlets, CDs, and other offerings from the American Atheist Press. Let me get this magazine. And if you agree with what we have to say, why not join American Atheists? Members receive our American Atheist magazine. I'm Ellen Johnson. Thanks again for visiting our website.